Let's start. Oh, Rasaraj Prabhu. I have no problem today. You
Oh,
forgot?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
No,
Krishna.
I was actually just speaking with one devotee friend who just came. It was a surprise. He called me, so we just catch up a little,
Okay.
and I wasn't aware of the time,
Yeah.
so I have to. Sorry if I'm late.
It's all right. Niharika Mataji, thank you very much for bringing one convert.
You're welcome, Prabhu.
Hey, Raj Bets, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, fine. We love to see your handsome face. Okay.
Prabhu, currently my camera is not working. I don't know what's the
Your
problem
camera is
is.
not working. Don't worry,
Yes.
tomorrow I will come to your house and I will fix your camera for you. Just joking, it's all right. Okay, so let's start. Let's start. So we are continuing from where we stopped. So we are starting a new chapter today, chapter 4. Congratulations, we are now in chapter 4. Congratulations.
Hare
Aribo. Yeah, actually, it's very wonderful because to get to chapter 4 means we have learned a lot. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, because in chapter 3, Krishna discussed to Arjuna Nishkama Karma Yoga. What is the meaning of Nishkama Karma Yoga? Nishkama Karma Yoga means engaging in devotional service or in activity with knowledge, not expecting the return. That is Nishkama Karma Yoga. There's no desire for gratification. You're just doing it because of knowledge. Okay? And so here, Krishna is going to describe that knowledge, which is the goal of Nishkama Karma Yoga in chapter 4. And it shall appear in this world. And what is the purpose of his appearance? It's very, very important to know that also. So that is what we're going to be studying in chapter 4. And Krishna is going to describe about different sacrifices, which is very, very interesting. In the middle of chapter 4, we're going to learn a lot. Okay, so let's start. So yeah, this is the beginning. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivasato Yogam Proktavam Aham Avyayam Vivaswamanabe Praha Mano Ishwakabe Bravit. So Krishna is opening this by telling Arjuna how he has instructed the same knowledge, not just that he's just giving it to Arjuna, but he has given it to others. The personality of God, Lord Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god, Vivaswan. And Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the founder of mankind. And Manu, in turn, instructed it to Ishwaku. Okay? So this is the chain of the simple succession, how Krishna and instructed it to the sun god. The sun god instructed it to Manu, Manu instructed it to Ishwaku. So this will prompt Arjuna to ask questions like, how come, Krishna, you inserted this knowledge to sun god, but me and you were almost the same age. How come? Sun god has been there since time immemorial, since the existence, but how come? Then Krishna started talking about his appearance, okay? Then that is very interesting. So here, in this particular chapter, we should take note of Prabhupada's purport because Prabhupada is going to give a little bit history of this Gita. So we should take notes about the history Prabhupada is going to explain in the purport. So I want somebody to read, if possible.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I can read. Herein,
Yes, Prabhu.
we find the history of Bhagavad Gita traced from a remote time when it was delivered to the royal order of all planets. Beginning from the sun planet, The kings of all planets are specially meant for the protection of the inhabitants, and therefore the royal order should understand the science of Bhagavad Gita in order to be able to rule the citizens and protect them from material bondage to lust. Human life is meant for cultivation of spiritual knowledge in eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the executive heads of all states and all planets are obliged to impart this lesson to the citizens by education, culture, and devotion. In other words, the executive heads of all states are intended to spread the science of Krishna consciousness so that the people may take advantage of this great science and pursue a successful path, utilizing the opportunity of the human form of life. Excuse. In this millennium, the sun god is known as Vivashwan, the king of the sun, which is the origin of all planets within the solar system. In the Brahma Samhita 5.52, it is stated, Yat Shakshur Esha Sabita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samastas Sura Murtir Asesha Tejaha Yas Yajnaya Vrimati Sambrita Kala Chakro Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Let me offer Let me worship Lord Brahma said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, Krishna, who is the original person, and under whose order the sun, which is the king of all planets, is assuming immense power and heat. The sun represents the eye of the Lord and traverses its orbit in obedience to his order. The sun is the king of all of the planets, and the sun god at present of the name Vivashvan rules the sun planet, which is controlling all other planets by supplying heat and light. He is rotating under the order of Krishna, and Lord Krishna originally made Vivashwan his first disciple to understand the science of Bhagavad Gita. The Gita is not, therefore, a speculative treatise for the insignificant mundane scholar, but is a standard book of knowledge coming down from time immemorial. In the Mahabharata, Shanti Parva 348.51-52, we can trace out the history of the Gita as follows. Excuse. Treta Yuga do Chatato, Vivashvan Manavedado, Manuscha Loka Vrityartam, Sutyakesh Bhakavedado, Ish Bhakuna Cha Katito, Vyapya Lokan Abashtitaha. In the beginning of the millennium, known as Treta Yuga, the science of the relationship with the Supreme was delivered by Vivashvan to Manu. Manu, being the father of mankind, gave it to his son Maharaj Ishvaku, the king of this earth planet, and forefather of the Raghu dynasty, in which Lord Ramachandra appeared. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita existed in human society from the time of Maharaj Ishvaku. At the present moment, we have just passed through 5,000 years of the Kali Yuga, which lasts 432,000 years. Before this, there was Dwapara Yuga, 800,000 years, and before that, there was Treta Yuga, 1,200,000 years. Thus, some 2,005,000 years ago, Manu spoke the Bhagavad Gita to his disciple and son Maharaj Ishvaku, the king of this planet Earth. The age of the current Manu is calculated to last some 305,300,000 years, of which 120,400,000 have passed. Accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vivashvan. A rough estimate is that the Gita was spoken at least 120,400,000 years ago, and in human society it has been extant for 2 million years. It was respoken by the Lord again to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago. That is the rough estimate of the history of the Gita. According to the Gita itself, and according to the version of the speaker, Lord Shri Krishna, it was spoken to the sun god Vivashvan because he is also a Satriya and is the father of all Satriyas, who are descendants of the sun god, or the Surya Vamsha Satriyas. Because Bhagavad Gita is as good as the Vedas, being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this knowledge is a Paurusheya, superhuman. Since the Vedic instructions are accepted as they are, without human interpretation, the Gita must therefore be accepted without mundane interpretation. The mundane wranglers may speculate on the Gita in their own ways, but that is not Bhagavad Gita as it is. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita has to be accepted as it is from the disciplic succession. And it is described herein that the Lord spoke to the sun god. The sun god spoke to his son Manu, and Manu spoke to his son Ishvaku. Hare Krishna. Prabhu,
You're
you're
on
on
mute,
mute.
Prabhu.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much for the good, clear reading, Prabhu. So quickly, let us do some tests. Without looking your book, don't look at your book. How long has the Bhagavad Gita been in human existence? Fast, let's see. Let's see someone who can tell us. Unmute yourself and tell us.
2 million.
Some million years ago.
You try, so you didn't get it. How long? Specific, be specific.
It lasts for 2 million years.
2,005,000 years.
No.
Was it 300 million?
120 million. Let's go and look at our book now. It is mentioned that the Bhagavad Gita has lasted in human existence. Prabhupada mentioned it very clearly in the purport. Have you seen? Let me show you. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Yes.
So let's see. Let's read from here. Read it from here. Somebody can read from here. If you are seeing my cursor. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah,
I'll read it.
Yeah.
The age of the current Manu is calculated to last some 305 million years, 300,000 years, of which 400,000 have passed. Accepting that before the birth of Manu, the Gita was spoken by the Lord to his disciple, the sun god Vishvaswan, a rough estimate is that the Gita was spoken at least 120,400,000 years ago, and in a human society it has been extant for 2 million years. It was re-spoken by the Lord again to Arjuna about 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, sorry, Raya Prabhu, you said 2 million in human existence, so you are right to some extent. But the Bhagavad Gita has been spoken 120 million years ago. Because let's look at the Prabhupada's calculation. His calculation is that, in every 305 million years, there is always a change of Manu. And the Manu we are having, that is what we call Manvantaras. And the Manu we have currently now, so Prabhupada is explaining from this purport that this Manu got this knowledge from the beginning of its own existence. So the rough estimate is that it means that this Manu has spent 120 million years now, which is almost like half of his year. So means that the Bhagavad Gita has been spoken since 120 million years in the heavenly planet. Manu is not residing on Earth. And because why Prabhupada say has existed in 2 million in human on Earth, because the knowledge spoken by Manu to Ishwaku is on the Earth planet. Okay? And Prabhupada did the calculation for us. Our Kali Yoga is going to last for 432,000 years. Before our Kali Yoga, we had Dwarpa Yoga, which is 800,000 years. Okay? And before Dwarpa Yoga, we have Tetra Yoga. Tetra Yoga lasted for, just add another 400,000 to 800,000 years. That is how much? 100 and, what is that? The calculation again. When you add 1 million, Tetra Yoga is 1,200,000 years, sorry. Okay? Because if you add the 400 to Grandpa Yoga, it gives you 1,200,000 years. So 1,200,000 years of Tetra Yoga added to 8,000 of Dwapara Yoga, it gives you 2 million years. Okay? So because Ishwaku was existing in Dwapara Yoga, in Tetra Yoga, which is 120 million years of the duration of that age. Then again, Dwapara Yoga, Tetra Yoga, Dwapara Yoga, that is 800 plus 120 million, that is 2 million. That's why Prabhupada say this Bhagavad Gita has been existing on Earth planet since 2 million years. But it has been existing in this universe because Krishna spoke it to sun God since 120 million years. According to the calculation of the Manu. Are you getting the point, the calculation? This is a rough history of Bhagavad Gita. Because when you want to present Bhagavad Gita to people, some people, they think that their knowledge is the oldest. And their knowledge is just 2,000 years, 1,500 years. Okay? You can imagine, Bhagavad Gita has been in human existence more than 2 million years before. Okay, let us leave that. Okay, that is too much. 2 million years, okay, Dwapara Yoga is too much. Now Krishna again spoke it to Arjuna. How long was that? 5,000 years ago. So even Bhagavad Gita is still more older than any other scripture that we have presently in this age now. The Bible is how many years now? I think it's 2,000. And the Quran is 1,500. That is the highest they can go. But Bhagavad Gita has been in existence more than 5,000 years ago. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that this knowledge I'm telling you, this knowledge I'm going to give you now is not new. I spoke it to some God. Then Arjuna will become bewildered. Huh? Even you give this knowledge to some God. Then how old are you? Then Krishna started talking about his appearance. Okay? So let's continue. Text 2. Krishna is going to give you the secret now of how to understand the knowledge. Not only that the knowledge is the oldest, but you need to have a qualification for you to understand this knowledge. So let's continue. It's a very nice, this beginning of chapter 4 is very, very sweet. If you can memorize them also, it's very nice. Evam param param praptam, Imam Rajasharyo Vidu, Sakalehan Mahata Yogo Nasha Parantapa. So Krishna is telling Arjuna here, this supreme science was just received through chain of disciplines of section, like the way I explained to you in the first verse. And the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appeared to be lost. So now let us, before going to Prabhupada's purpose, let us analyze this verse and my own mention on this verse. This knowledge is not given to people, ordinary people. This knowledge is meant for rulers. The knowledge is meant for kings. This knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is meant for saintly kings, those who rule. And that is why it looks as if we are not spreading the way we are supposed to spread. Because why? We have not given this knowledge to the right people. The rulers, those who are ruling the country, they are the one we are supposed to give this knowledge to. Because only by if they can understand this knowledge, they will be able to rule properly, and they can influence others also to follow properly. Just like Islam. When they enter any country, they take control of the king, the leader, and they give him the knowledge. And that's how Islam spread. But we are not violent, okay? But still, Krishna is saying that this knowledge is meant for Rajari Shayo, saintly kings. Okay, so that is why if we don't understand Bhagavad Gita, it's all right. By Krishna mercy, by the Guru, by Prabhupada's mercy, we are going to understand gradually, because this knowledge is meant for high class in the society. And many of us, like me, I'm not coming from a high class society. I'm not coming from a Kshatriya family. I'm not coming from a Brahmana family. You know, even my family maybe is lower than a Shudra. I'm thinking like that. Okay. So to understand this kind of knowledge is not going to be easy. Okay. That is why we see many of us have been listening to this knowledge for years. See, to even practice to be tolerant, to remain the same in happiness and distress, very difficult for us. To remain the same with friends and enemy, it's not easy for us. Because for you to be able to practice these things, you have to attain some good qualities. So let's read the purpose. The purpose is in somebody who has not read, please read.
Okay, Prabhu. It is clearly stated that the Gita was especially meant for the saintly kings because they were to execute its purpose in ruling over the citizens. Certainly, Bhagavad Gita was never meant for the demonic persons who would dissipate its value for no one's benefit and would devise all types of interpretations according to personal whims. As soon as the original purpose was scattered by the motives of the unscrupulous commentators, there arose the need to establish the disciplic succession. 5,000 years ago, it was detected by the Lord himself that the disciplic succession was broken, and therefore, he declared that the purpose of Gita appeared to be lost. In the same way, at the present moment, also there are so many editions of Gita, especially in English, but almost of them are not according to authorized disciplic succession. There are innumerable interpretations rendered by different mundane scholars, but almost of them do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, although they make a good business on the words of Sri Krishna. This spirit is demonic because demons do not believe in God but simply enjoy the property of the Supreme. Since there is a great need of an edition of the Gita in English, as it is received by Parampara, disciplic succession system, an attempt is made herewith to fulfill this great want. Bhagavad Gita, accepted as it is a great boon to humanity. But if it is accepted as a treatise of philosophical speculation, it is simply a waste of time. Hare Krishna.
See Prabhupada's purpose? Yeah, that is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. So before Prabhupada came to the West, people were reading Bhagavad Gita, but not one single person became a devotee of Krishna. No one. People were just understanding, they love the knowledge, they interpret it. Even the guy who made the bomb, atomic bomb, he read Bhagavad Gita. That is why after making atomic bomb, he said, time I am the great destroyer of the world. That is a quote from Bhagavad Gita. You know, all these great philosophers of the Europeans, like Aristotle, all these Greek philosophers, they read Bhagavad Gita, many of them. But no single one has become a pure devotee, even the Western philosophy. Nobody has become a pure devotee of Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita, by other translators. No one. Because many of them, they translated this Bhagavad Gita according to their own whims. You don't need to read other people's Bhagavad Gita, but you become confused. There's one particular translation. It translated that Pandavas never existed, and there's no Krishna. That all the name in the Bhagavad Gita, like the Pandavas and Krishna, they are allegorical. So how can one understand Krishna by reading the such Bhagavad Gita? That the Pandava referred to the five senses, and Krishna referred to the mind. See somebody giving interpretation. So how can they understand Bhagavad Gita? And many of them, those who accepted that, they don't even believe in personality of Krishna. They say Krishna has no form. So if somebody is speaking a knowledge to somebody and you are trying to deny the personality of that person, how can you understand the knowledge? So that is why the devotee, the Vaishnavas, and the impersonalists, they are using the same scripture, Bhagavad Gita. But the interpretation is what is different. Actually, if you know Sanskrit, you understand what I'm trying to say about this interpretation. I have one book. It's called Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit. I didn't bring it here. We will have done a little bit of Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit if I brought it here. It's in my country. It's in my library. Actually, I wanted to arrange to bring it here, but I didn't get it. The Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit, if you study Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit, you will see that one word can give you various meanings. And when you are doing Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit, let's go to the Sanskrit. Let's look at the Sanskrit word now. Let's do a little Sanskrit, okay? You see, here, are you seeing my cursor?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, a word here is evam. There you say, param param praptam, together. Para param praptam. Rajarishayo vidu. Okay. You see how the word is? Then he said, Saha kalenea nata kalenea mata yogo nata param prapta. Okay. So here, I will just use it as a sample. If somebody want to translate, it may not get my example very rightly here, but I'll just give you some simple logic. So somebody can divide this in different ways. It can divide it, you can say, okay, param, are you getting my point? Can you hear me? Somebody unmute yourself and tell me if you are hearing me.
Prabhu,
Prabhu, you were
yeah.
cutting off. Please,
Yes,
can you repeat
earlier.
that,
Can you hear me
please?
now?
But yes, we can hear you now.
So do you understand what I'm trying to say in this word here? Can you understand? Can you see?
Yes, but during the time that you explained what was going on, like how the people divided these words from Sanskrit to another meaning, it went off.
Okay, very good. So what I'm trying to say here, see, these two words is joined together, param, param, praptam. This is it here. This is param, param, praptam here. You see, I learned, okay? Okay, say, so this is param, param, praptam here. So somebody may come, wants to divide it and say param and give meaning to param, and put para praptam and give another meaning to it. So based on the meaning, by dividing these words, it can give a different meaning to this verse. This is how Sanskrit is written. Sanskrit is written like this. Any Sanskrit, whether Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is like this. So you give meaning to the word by how you divide the word that is joined together. So that is why an impersonalist can come to Bhagavad Gita based on his own interpretation on how he divide the word and give meaning to them. He can give a complete different meaning to the book. So that is why so many people have given so many interpretations to Bhagavad Gita, but none become a devotee. But Srila Prabhupada, because of his bhakti, devotion to Krishna, understanding Krishna's acts, and that is why he named his own Bhagavad Gita as it is. So by studying Bhagavad Gita, by Srila Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita, you can understand the heart of Krishna. Because in the preface, Prabhupada made it very clear why he's writing his own Bhagavad Gita. He's not writing Bhagavad Gita to massage people's mental speculation or to try to inspire people intelligence. Let me quickly go to the beginning of this book and show you why Prabhupada read Bhagavad Gita, gave Bhagavad Gita to the wrote Bhagavad Gita. Let me take you back to preface. For those of you who are writing on the preface, your assignments, let us do some little talk there. This network is a little bit slow. Let's see. That is a limitation. Thank you. Preface. Okay, towards the end of the preface, I want somebody to read what are we highlight now. Okay, somebody reads here. Okay, read. If you are seeing it, please read.
Okay, we hope therefore that people will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is, as we have presented it here. And if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success.
This is the reason why Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita, to make us pure devotee of Krishna. He has not written Bhagavad Gita because he wants to show his intelligence, is not a prowess of his intelligence prowess, no. Or he wants to tell us how much is a Sanskrit scholar, no. Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita because he understands that unless you are a devotee of Krishna, you cannot understand who Krishna is. So by reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, you become a devotee of Krishna. Guaranteed. Okay, let's go back to what we are doing, what we are studying. So now do you understand how different interpretation can be given to Bhagavad Gita? That's why I'm explaining that, showing you the Sanskrit and how they divide it. That is why devotees, the Vaishnava, and the impersonalists, they can give different meaning to the same book because of different interpretation. You get the points? Okay. Now let's continue. So, Prabhupada mentioned in the chapter text 2, Krishna has come again to establish the discipline succession because the one he spoke to the sun god already broken. And that's why he started again with Arjuna. And we are very fortunate, actually. We're in the month of Ganapati. Ganapati, or Ganesh, is a very great devotee of Lord Nishingadev. He's always meditating on Lord Nishingadev. And do you know his greatest contribution to our life? Who can tell me?
Ganesh with his task.
Yeah.
You say what? The two of you were
Go ahead, Mother Tripura, please.
It's okay, Prabhuji have started that.
Is it Ganesh gave his task for Vyasadeva to write the Vedas?
No. Ganesh wrote it.
Ganesh wrote it, the Mahabharata. He assisted Vyasadeva to write that, like continuously without any sleep, without water.
That is not the full story. No. The full story is that Vyasadeva, he saw that Kali Yoga is coming. Because before Kali Yoga, they don't need to write book. In the past ages, people were Shruti Dara. You know the meaning of Shruti Dara? Shruti Dara means, if I recite this Bhagavad Gita to you now, once, you will not forget even one shloka. You will remember everything in total from 1 to Z. That is how powerful people intelligence were before Kali Yoga. So people don't need to write books. They don't need to write it down. They listen to from their guru about the shloka. The guru tell them about Bhagavad Gita, like this is chapter 1, this was also verse, recite it to them. They have it in their brain. They don't need to write it down. They are called Shruti Dara. But Vyasadeva saw that Kali Yoga is coming. And one of the shortcomings of Kali Yoga is that we have short memory. Our memory is short. We cannot remember anything. Even if I ask you what we have studied last week now, if somebody can tell you just one full paragraph, oh, then the person will develop Krishna prem. You know? Because it's not easy. Even if I tell you what you did yesterday at the same time, you have to think a little bit before you remember. We have short memory. So yesterday he said, I want somebody who can write very fast. Because once I start speaking, I will not stop. The person has to be very fast as I'm speaking. He has to write it very fast so that we can document all this scripture for the benefit of these Kali Yoga people who are very sinful by nature and who have short memory. Okay. So Ganapati, Lord Ganesh, decided to take that task. So I will write only one condition. Immediately you stop speaking, I will drop my pen also. Okay? So that is how we got, that is the contribution of Lord Ganesh to this book we are reading now. So whenever you find yourself in a Ganapati program during this period, just pray to Lord Ganesh. Lord Ganesh, you wrote the Gita. Please give me the knowledge of Gita in my head.
Prabhu
Okay.
Kavi,
Yeah.
you also mentioned that Ganesh is a great devotee of the Lord Narasimhadev. Can you narrate like a pastime?
Oh, I don't know detail about that. I only read from Brahma Samhita. There is this very nice shloka describing the glories of Lord Ganesh. So let's divert a little bit because you have this question. Let's divert a little bit, okay? Let's go to Brahma Samhita and confirm about this. Is that okay? We learn every day.
Yes.
So let's go to Brahma Samhita. Where is Brahma Samhita? If you find it faster than me, let me know. Where is Brahma Samhita? Where is Brahma Samhita? Okay, sir. Okay. So let's go and see the glories of Lord Ganesh. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Okay.
The Iyad Pada, 1 minute. Iyad Pada, you got
5:35.
Is it?
Oh, sorry. I was just reading what is the text, the verse, the chapter and the verse. Was it 5:35?
Let me check. You know the verse?
No, Prabhu.
No, I'm just trying to. I know the shloka, Iyad Pada, the shloka. I know little of the shloka, but I just have to look for it. This is the description of Maya, Lord Shiva. This is Vishnu, description of Vishnu here. Vishnu, description of Vishnu. Okay. All of those feet. Okay. Okay, yeah. That is 50. Yat pada palava yugam binida ya kumba. Dwadwe samaye sakana diraja. Bignam viantu malamasya jagatrayasya. Govindam adipurusham tamambajami. So whenever you go to these Indian temples or wherever you have all these deity, just try to read these prayers from Brahma Samhita to glorify those deities. Like if you are in front of Lord Ganesh, you should recite this Brahma Samhita 550. Yat pada palavam yugam binida kumba. Yandwe pranaya samaya sagana diraja. Vignam vihantu malamasya jagatrayasya. Govinda madi purusham tamam bajami. So what is the translation? I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose lotus feet are always held by Ganesh upon the pair of his tumuli protruding from his elephant's head, in order to obtain power for the function of destroying all obstacles on the path of the progress of the tree world. So the duty of Lord Ganesh is to remove the obstacle on the path of the progress of these three worlds. Okay, so even though devotees are not supposed to worship the demigod, but whenever you find yourself in front of Lord Ganesh, you should always pray for him, because Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned in Nectar of Devotion that devotees should worship Lord Ganesh to remove the obstacle on the path of devotional service, only for that purpose. Okay, so let's read what purport is there. The power for destroying all obstacle to mundane prosperity has been delegated to Ganesh, who is the object of worship, to those who eligible worship him. He has obtained a rank among the 5 gods as Brahma, possessing mundane quality. The same Ganesha is God possessing of delegated power of effusion of the divine power. All of the glory rests entire on his grace of Govinda. So it's not here that it's mentioned, but Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Lord Ganesh worship Lord Nishingadev. I don't know particularly where that story came from, but now that you already asked for it, I will make research and come back tomorrow. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
So let's continue. Let's continue here. So now let us go and let us learn about the secret of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Sa evaya mayam te dea yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakasheti rahasyam I eta utamam. So he says that very science, ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mysteries of this science. So anybody want to understand the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given the secret in chapter 4, verse 3. So in case you want to preach, or you find yourself as a preacher, and you want to talk about Bhagavad Gita, this is a quote to tell on how the secret of understanding Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is clearly mentioned here because Arjuna is what? Bhakta. Not only Bhakta, Shaka. Bhakta Sme Saka Sheti. Rahasyam. Rahasyam means confidential, mystery. Confidential, Rahasyam. Something that is very confidential is called Rahasya. Okay, mystery. Prabhupada use the word, translated it to be mystery here. Rahasyam eta utama. Because you are my devotee and because you are my friend, then only you can understand this science. Rahasyam. Okay, so let's listen to Prabhupada's purport. Somebody want to read? Somebody who has not read before? It's very short. Nobody want to read?
Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mata. There are 2 classes of men, namely the devotee and the demon. The Lord selected Arjuna as the recipient of this great science owing to his being a devotee of the Lord. But for mysterious, the demon is not possible to understand this great mysterious science. Sorry. There are a number of editions of this great book of knowledge. Some of them have commentaries by the devotees and some of them have commentaries by the demons. Commentation by the devotees is real, whereas that of demons is useless. Arjuna accepts Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and any commentary on the Gita following in the steps of Arjuna is real devotional service to the cause of this great science. The demonic, however, do not accept Lord Krishna as he is. Instead, they concoct something about Krishna and mislead general readers from the path of Krishna's instructions. Here is a warning about such misleading paths. One should try to follow the disciplic succession from Arjuna and thus be benefited by this great science of Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
So it's very, very important because Krishna is clearly mentioned here. Unless you are a devotee and a friend, you cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. So what does that mean? It's just for example, unless I am your friend or I'm close to you, if I'm your enemy, whatever I hear about you, whatever others say about you, I will always be very angry. I will always, why you? No, it's not him. No, it's like, it's bad. He's a bad guy. You know, because if you are envious of someone or you're somebody's enemy, whatever you hear about that person, you, even though if he's talking about good thing, about great thing about that person, say, no, it's not him. It cannot be him. No. The person is very useless. No, it cannot be him. The Papa gave a very nice story. There was these two lawyers. They started practicing at the same time, and they are climbing the rank in their profession. So at a particular time, one of the other guy, he became the magistrate because only one person can become the head, among all of them. So he became the magistrate. So the news spread. So there's one particular one among who is the enemy of this one. So one of the other friends went to him. Have you heard? You have not heard. Oh, Radharaj Prabhu now is the magistrate of this city. And because he's very envious of him, he said, no, it's not possible. No, it cannot be. Because he's very envious of him. He said, no, it cannot be. No, how can it be? I know him. I know Radharaj Prabhu. No, not him. He said, no, he came out on newspaper. He's the magistrate. Now, so the person is telling him that it's confirmed because it's on the newspaper. He said, no, even though he has come out in the newspaper, he will not be getting salary. No, they will not give him salary. He's so envious that he's thinking that even though if it's so confirmed, they will not be paying him. Just imagine, see how envy is. That is how much envy is. So similarly, if we are envious of Krishna, we will never accept Krishna to be God. We will never understand Krishna. We will never appreciate the greatness of Krishna. We will never appreciate the transcendental pastime of Krishna. Only when you become a devotee of Krishna, a friend of Krishna, then you can relish the activities of Krishna. You can enjoy the pastime of Krishna. Then you can understand everything you are hearing in the Bhagavad Gita about Krishna. First, you have to become a devotee. Very, very important. Okay. So, any comment or contribution for 7 minutes more or 8 minutes more? Let's take questions and comments, then we can end for today.
Yeah, that what you have said, Prabhu, is really true. That sometimes it happens to some of us, most of us, even to me. That if we really hate someone, we try to convince ourselves that it is not true. Everything is not true. We are really covered with hatred, with anger, with all this enviousness. So even if the person is really not doing something to us, we don't believe. We just stay with and then convince ourselves that he's really a bad person. He's really a bad person. Something like this.
Thank you very much. And also one other thing is that if we don't really like somebody and we are envious of somebody, we're always thinking of bad news to come from about that person. Like, what is the nice news about him? Oh, no, I want to hear that something bad has happened. Then if we hear that Oh, now it's become so rich. Huh? Nah. And now let him go. Let him become rich. He will not be happy with the money. Nah. Yeah. We just want to convince ourselves that something bad must happen to the person because we don't like the person. It should not be like that. That is why Krishna is saying here that the secret of understanding my lecture, my book of this Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, the only reason you are understanding this knowledge I'm giving you is because you are my devotee and you are my dear friend. So from tomorrow, we are going to hear Arjuna's reply based on this opening of Krishna. How Krishna said he spoke to some God, how Krishna told him the chain has been broken. Then Arjuna is going to ask questions. He's like a student who is listening attentively. So when there's any doubt, he will ask questions. So he's going to ask Krishna, Krishna, come here, come, let's discuss. You say you spoke this to some God, but some God is senior to you by age. How come? So stay tuned for that tomorrow, okay? We're going to take that. I don't want to rush us. I don't want us to rush into that today. So if there's any comment contribution we can take, then we'll round up for today. Any questions so far?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Right, Prabhu.
From what book of Srila Rupa Goswami that he recommend to worship Lord Ganesh just to remove the obstacle in devotional service?
No. If you want to worship Lord Ganesh, then you have to be bringing 10,000, 20,000 pesos to the temple every month.
Yeah, no. What my question is, what is that book of Srila
I
Rupa
understand. It's in the nectar of devotion.
Nectar of Devotion. Okay.
Okay, now we have some time. Let me show you from nectar of devotion. Okay? Can I show you? You like to see?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, let's go and see. Let's go and see. Let me open the book while you are watching. Okay. Where is nectar of devotion? It's here. Now, where to find it? Where to find it? Where is it? Aspects of transcendental service, devotional qualification, quality of Sri Krishna. Are you seeing me? Are you seeing? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So we are doing some search, okay? Is that okay with you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Let's do some scriptural search because we have 3 minutes more. If you want to read about drinking, you can read it from here. Right, Prabhu, you see?
Prabhu, it's on chapter 8. Offenses to be avoided. Or is it on 9?
This chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Okay.
I'm doing searching. It's mentioned in a particular place.
I'm looking at chapter 8. It's saying here that one should begin the worship the demigod Ganapati who drives away all impediments.
Okay, you have seen it already.
Service. I cheated. I used Google. I cheated. I used Google. Yes,
very
bro.
good. Where
it's
did you find it?
It's yeah, on the third paragraph.
Third paragraph. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. In the Padma Purana, it said that even a person whose life is completely simple, is that one?
The first.
The offenses against chanting of the holy name, is that one? No.
No. The first words are other rules that are that one should not offer.
Other rules that one should not offer food which is food by a
Foodstuff.
non-Vaishnava. Not
Yes.
worship the deity before a devotee. And one should
Yes, Prabhu.
not engage himself in worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. One should not worship the deity without first worshiping the demigod Ganapati. Okay? You understand now? Are you hearing me, Prabhuji? Ryan Prabhu, are you there? Unmute yourself.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
My mic is low. So this is where Shilarupa Goswami mentioned about that. Because before you worship the Lord, you have to worship Ganapati first. Okay? That is why if they want to do Jagya, the priests, they normally worship Lord Ganesh. See, it is mentioned here that, this is where it's mentioned, Prabhuji, Rasaraj, you see? It's in here.
Yes, Prabhu. I was also reading it. Just
Yeah, thank you. It's mentioned in that Ganapati worship the lotus feet of the Lord Nishingade in all of the impediments. Therefore, all devotees should worship Ganapati. But Prabhupada did not emphasize the worship of Lord Ganesh. You know why? If you tell us to worship Lord Ganesh, we abandon the worship of Krishna.
can you say that again, Prabhu?
Prabhupada did not emphasize the worship of Lord Ganesh, because if he tells us to worship Ganesh, we will all abandon the worship of Krishna.
Yes, agreed.
We all start worshiping Ganesh because we want material boons from Lord Ganesh.
Exactly.
Okay, so but if you are mature enough, you know that Lord Ganesh is a devotee of the Lord. So whenever you come to a temple where you see Lord Ganesh, it's opportunity for you to worship him. Okay. Ryan Prabhu, are you hearing me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, and that is why when we go to any temple, we don't deride the demigods. Okay. We offer prayers based on the Brahma Samhita to them when we see them. Because it's just like now, you say or you go to the minister of education of your country. You say you are a stupid man, you know. We're not supposed to respect you. We only respect the president. What will the minister do to you? What will he do to you? He will put you in prison. He say you are a stupid man. You are so disrespectful. So when we see the demigods, even though we call them demigods, we should always offer our respect to them with awe and reverence, because they are devotees of the Lord. Okay? So when you see, like now, the Ganapati worship is going on because it's the time for Lord Ganesh festival. So whenever we get the opportunity to go in front of Lord Ganesh, we should pray to him to remove all our obstacles in the path of devotional service. Okay? That is the only prayer we should pray to him. We should not tell him, Lord Ganesh, please give me plenty money. Give me beautiful wife. Or give me nice husband. Don't do not that. Remove the obstacle for our pure devotion. Okay. That is why Prabhupada, one devotee asked Prabhupada, it is mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, this part also, just here. Now we know where it is mentioned. He said, Prabhupada, it is mentioned in pure devotion, in the devotional Nectar of Devotion, that we should worship Lord Ganesh. Why are we not worshiping Lord Ganesh? Prabhupada said, no, we only worship Krishna. But if you want to worship Ganesh, then every month you have to give me so amount of dollars. Jokingly, Prabhupada was telling him like that. But the Prabhupada came to establish, because in India they are so confused about who is God, who is this, who is that. They just want to worship everything. Okay. But Prabhupada doesn't want to confuse us. Sorry. That was sometime I used to miss it. doesn't want to confuse us that, that is why Prabhupada did not talk about any demigod. He did not glorify any demigod. Even though they are mentioned in the scripture, we should use our discretion to know how to appreciate these personalities, okay? But we should not worship, like put them above Krishna. Then we will miss the goal, okay? Is that okay, Raya Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, understood. We respect them, but we should not worship the demigods.
Above Krishna.
Yes, only Krishna.
Yeah, we should respect. Whenever we come to the temple, we see them, we should offer our full respect to them, offer prayer to them, pray to them. Okay, but on our altar, it should only be Krishna and Krishna only. We are so fanatic, we are Krishna fanatics. Okay? Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So see you tomorrow. Vanchakapata Rubhyascha.
Rubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyascha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namah. Before we end, Prabhu, I would like to take our picture.
Okay.
So, Mother Ashraya,
No different styles.
Cynthia. I can tell Mother Rajbet cannot open her camera, but
please open your camera. Those who can open their camera. Raj can open his camera, so we missed today's picture. Sorry, Raj.
next time.
Next time.
Okay, give me just a sec.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, look at your cameras, everyone. Hare Krishna, smile. One,
Hare
two,
Krishna.
3.
Hare go.
All right. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.